The prosperity message as part of the gospel of Christ and what the real message should be has been a point of deliberation amongst religious juggernauts and major disconnect between preachers of the gospel. Meanwhile, the Venerable Ifeanyi Aniagboso in the Anglican Diocese of Niger Delta North has cleared the air from the point of view of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, saying that the gospel of Christ is that Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. Any other message preached in the church should be centered on Christ.
The gospel has no contradiction. The gospel cannot be divided. The gospel is about Jesus. When you hear about balancing, it means that someone is not preaching the gospel. In our liturgy for communion, we say the mystery of faith, Christ has died, Christ will rise again, Christ will come again. And that is the gospel, nothing else. By the time you begin to teach about the coming of Jesus the first time, it will take you years to finish teaching about what he did. If you want to teach about the importance of his coming and his death, that's another thing. When you go into it, you talk about dying to the flesh, dying to sin. You talk about the benefits of his death, our forgiveness of sins. Talk about his resurrection, the hope of our resurrection too. The gospel is not divided. There is no need of balancing it. Once you teach the scripture and don't bring other elements of the scripture will always be the gospel. So, whether there is prosperity or no, people emphasize prosperity. Prosperity is part of the gospel. But the gospel that does not center on Christ is not the gospel. Christ wants us to prosper. But what way? It must be according to his way. Take up your cross and follow me. As you follow him, he prospers you. He teaches you his ways. So the gospel doesn't need to be balanced. Once you teach the gospel, everything is in the gospel. And the gospel is Christ.